Hello, I said I'd make a YouTube video after watching this morning's Mass. Mass being a Catholic word for church, if you want to say it. So that's what I do every morning. I get to enjoy, the ability to enjoy online Mass is humongous for me. And pardon my vocal cords and everything, I have dystonia, tardive, late onset, had acute for a while, but it makes your vocal cords really strained, so it sounds really like high pitchy, and I really can't do much about that. So I just kind of go with the flow, and then after COVID, I think long COVID hit, like definitely my tonsils, because Lily, she brought home like 2 infections from school. So I'm finally feeling better. My tonsils are a lot better, and the key is my mom would always make hot lime water, then put it in lemonade with a lot of sugar, and that actually like decreases the swelling humongously enough to where like I can eat. So it's been a rough match, but I just keep on going. But like I said, I make a video after. Oh, cross on. Ooh, ooh. Sorry, I'm a very like modest, very. I don't normally like check the cameras and stuff. I don't know how actors do it. I don't even know how people do acting, honestly. Like, it amazes me. My husband, like, he did theater for so long, especially in high school, and I'm like, ooh, today's sermon, no joke, or liturgy. The first word that Father and they all have different names, and on YouTube, he posted his name. I'm not familiar. I'm getting better at him. Father Golamari, and he talked about magistrates, and I said, whoa, that word shivers down my spine. 10 detainment orders against me for an insane asylum for any reason under the book, from my dad to my husband, like 9 times. And while my husband detained me, he would go around seeking women, going to strip clubs, all this and that. Everything I say is true on Facebook and on Twitter. I'm no lie. Like, it sucked. It sucked being me. And when you get any kind of mental diagnosis, people can usually abuse you for it. It's like disability abuse. It's real. And when certain people of certain stature, credibility they're supposed to have with a uniform pull up and they tell a magistrate everything, it's your word against theirs. And it has never been fair to me at all. But it is what it is, and I will never have to suffer through that again. I never resisted. I never was like inappropriate. I went through a lot of suffering, but I was kind to all officers, and I stood by them. I waited by them. I was really a good person, because I am, but I was terrified. You're terrified because you know you're going back to an asylum where it's just going to be more abuse. There's nothing you can do about it. So in the liturgy today, they talked about the magistrates and about the story of Silas and Paul, because I make notes, because that's how I do things. And Paul and Silas, they were beaten and put into a prison, and then an earthquake happened, and it said, Father said in the liturgy that in the Bible, it said instead of running away, the prisoners, they didn't, because the jailer was scared for his life. You know, he was like, oh no, you know, he knew that if there was a prison break, he's going to be blamed, so his life's on the line. So what it was said was that the chains had come off, and like miracles of God's came, like the miracles of God came truth. So that reminded me that they were kind to the guard, and the guard chose to get baptized along with them and go along their route. But it showed that, you know, kindness still can come. And just like for me, I did the best I could, and I was as kind as could be. So it was triggering to listen to today's mass, but it actually, it's a good thing, because when I had to go to the insane asylums, like, I was a good patient. I was good with people, and this last round last year was just horrible. And the only reason I go is so my husband could just keep looking better and cover up and do what he wants to do. And it's a joke at this point. But I signed a lot of artwork and letters and stuff with people for a blessing for those, so they could have hope again, to believe in a good America again, a good America. Like a positive America, a non-corrupt America. Because I was a whistleblower. I went through all that stuff. I did all that stuff. And I had to make the calls. I had to do all that. So when you have a husband that wasn't there in presence, in person, because he was in Japan, that's not my fault. So I shouldn't get faulted for what I did in my life. And just because he doesn't understand or doesn't want to understand everything, that is not my problem. But at least he's getting help with his addiction, because he has just an addictive personality. It's not like drugs or anything. It's just like games and the constant need for winning. And those video phone games, he would have like 20, 30 at a time running. And any gambling games like slot machines, oh God, it's awful. And the thing is, I suffered through my parents being big casino high roller gamblers. Like $1,000 like in 3 hours was nothing for them all the time. And I'm like struggling, and I'm like, oh God, how am I going to finish college and pay for it? And I had 3 jobs trying to leave home. So yeah, like, I've seen it all, and it's horrible. Gambling addiction, I don't understand it. And I won't. And that's why me and my husband realized we're so complete opposite. And that's why he was so, like, just awful towards me. But the truth is, I know God's real, because I had a near-death experience. And I wished for him in my life, and God said he would betray me. But I said, I'll take that chance. And he said, you'd have a beautiful golden-haired child at the end. Girl. And I said, okay, that's worth it. Because in my mind, I was like, I could change fate. He won't betray me. Oh Lord. Learn a lesson, like all the Tyler Perry movies, like Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Lord, and more. Men just gonna, it doesn't matter. A person gonna cheat if they want to cheat, and they're gonna be bad. They're gonna be bad. They're gonna be bad if they want to be bad, and there's nothing you can do. It's just between them and who they are. If they're self-centered, they just are, and there's nothing you can do. Ain't no amount of love gonna change them, make them better. No matter how much kindness I put out in love, it wasn't gonna matter. It's a lesson you gotta learn. And I'm a very highly empathetic person. I've been through a lot in my life, a lot of suffering. And it's just like, all you can do is just keep your mouth closed and take the abuse until people finally see it for its truth. And then when that happens, finally the cloak of the narcissist can come off, and you as an empath finally can win. So it's nice to have control back in my life and everything that's been stolen from me, and get it back, and by merit, because I've done a lot. I've got a lot of merit-based achievements in my life. So all the abuse I took was borderline insulting. But being a doctor, just like, wow, you have to see it to believe it, Lord. But anyway, going back to the sermon. So they never tried to flee. They never resisted. They were scared to death. They were respectful of the officers, though they were condemned over and over to suffer. That was Paul and Silas. And said, basically, this is a transformation, is what Father Gallimari said, for the guard to be a joyful host instead of an abusive host. He said this was the power of the gospel. It sets prisoners free. It sets our hearts free. And I've always been a big Jesus follower my whole life. And just passion. But I always knew I'd have to enter in the passion of him one day. But Lord, last year, yes, I did. But I bear witness to it, and I just enjoy church and keep on going. So, like, according to John, he said, grief filled with hearts. There'd be a great advocate that would come because Jesus sacrificed his life. And it reminded me that he said, basically it would be Jesus is going to go away in the gospel, but he's going to send the Holy Spirit, he says, the advocate, who will guide, strengthen, and convict the world. And I was like, okay, convict, I guess convict. Okay, wow, judge. And it's like, nobody can say in the asylum you have the Holy Spirit, or like you're going to get more medication put on you. And Lord, if you have a Bible, people just go nuts. And it's like, wow. I've never read the whole thing, but my parents barely took me to church because casino was more important. And I did what I could to get the learning I could in. And I'm just really a good person because I'm that highly empathetic, because that much bad crap happened and I didn't want to be bad. I didn't want to hurt people. Hurt people. You shouldn't hurt people. So Father Gallimard says that sometimes we feel like we're prisoners, and for me it's due to valid fears of being treated badly again and again. And that same fear was used to coerce me to get me to act perfectly for how my dad and my husband wanted to utilize fear tactics to scare me over and over and over. And I believe that, like, I'm a prisoner in my marriage due to what I call the sins of the fathers. And doing nothing is just as bad as doing something in favor of selfish and self-centered ways. So I hope they come to God and Jesus and do the best they can. My father-in-law didn't do anything, and my husband, But I keep on going because I'm strong, because I love my daughter. She's the most important thing in the world to me. Trust me. But Father also says that God opens doors, so you have to believe in Jesus, and it's a simple act of itself, the act of faith of believing in Jesus, that it's its own power, and it's in the power of the Gospels. So that's amazing to me. And it's like, okay, someone else is saying it. It's awesome. I just want to be an advocate for patients, because that's what a pharmacist is supposed to be. What I also go to school for, to be a doctor of pharmacy. But when you're locked up and you have to advocate for yourself and others, you step on a lot of toes that just want to see you gone off the planet. But he says that the Holy Spirit that is sent to us from Jesus having died on the cross as his promise helps us to see clearly and recognize the truth and walk in righteousness. And I've always looked at people, I'm like, why am I just in these situations when I just have a very abusive, jealous husband that hasn't come to terms with that I wouldn't got a higher education and I'm a woman. That bothers him. Yeah, he doesn't respect women. Why else would he go bananas, like thinking he can party like it's 1999 and I'm pregnant? He didn't care to be there as a father. Trust me, my mom's so mad at him for that. But I kept it together, and he just kept on going deployments, and I held down ship. And then I'm judged. Sad. But Father says faith in Jesus is rooted in prayer, and in trials that we'll have. We can never imagine what happens because God's presence is always among us. So we suffer for what is right and good. That's what I took from it. So there you go. There was a mass. Power of the gospel. Kept to faith in Jesus. Very proud. And, I'm a proud Ole Miss Rebel. This is the color of the days when I was back in school. I'm so old. I'm 42. Graduated Ole Miss with a bachelor's in pharmaceutical sciences in 2005, and my PharmD in 2008. Should have been 2017, but I let a group member make me feel so bad about myself. Ugh, that's a horrible thing that can happen. But anyway, love Ole Miss, hotty toddy for life, and love my football, Ole Miss, and Saints fan till the day I die. I've been a Saints fan. I started watching them about 6, 7, 8 years old. Big Saints fan. And I don't care if they are called the Aints. Ain't my fault. I don't care. Who dat nation? We still won after Katrina. Whatever. And the Rams. Okay, whatever. An apology. We should have went to Super Bowl. It's coming for us. Who dat nation? But said I'd leave a YouTube. It's my update. And I'm actually in a happier place. Because I have the freedom to say what I want, when I want, whenever I want. Just like any human should. And I had to fight for that right. And every day is a blessed day. It really is. And I can be proud to have my faith as a Catholic and it not be used against me in another court of law, in another fashion. And I solved an investigation and I got thrown to the crapper. And things are changing now. I see it, news and everything, but I had no idea being a Christian was a bad thing. And I had to suffer so many years until now where you can't hurt a person for being Christian. It's about time. And I've practiced Buddhism a lot of years with meditation. That's for me. And having Cherokee roots from my dad's side, you know, I love the stories and everything. It's amazing. And to be treated so bad based on my color, race, and everything, called an abomination my whole life. It's pretty sad. So I was thrown to the wolves many times, wash hands clean. But it'll take a few years, but maybe the flashbacks will completely stop and I won't have nightmares anymore. But until then, peace, pace, pace. A lot of people pronounce it different. Peace. This is deuces. And I was told to let go of my professional accent by some mental health counselors and just be myself. So this is my accent, and I get called dumb a lot. All the time. Dumb, stupid, ugly, fat, never gonna get anywhere. I'm always hauled off looking disheveled. It's just wrong. So wrong. And the mental health care system's got some big reforms to do. And I'm very sad. Very, very sad. So, I love this world. Always will. They say be a peacemaker, but they're suffering and always have been. But my signature's real, right-handed, and my name is Mary, Dr. Mary Kim Dukes, and I'm letting go of that prison of fear to just live in my house. Like, I worked hard to keep this going. I do all the finances, everything. My husband's horrible money and goes berserk, and I've had to fix all his mistakes over and over and over. And it's like nobody gives me credit, but wants to take all the credit for themselves and damage my reputation to up their credit and their reputation. Cheaters never prosper. But it feels good to know that I can walk outside and I'm in my backyard and it's freedom. It's air. It's everything. So I have to let go of the fear that I'm just going to wake up and it's all changed and I'm in cloth, literally paper scrubs that don't fit and tear, and you're exposed to the world. And just live a happy, peaceful life. It'll come, but you have to have the truth, because the only way to stop the violence is you have to break the silence. And Mama didn't raise no fool, and I love my daughter, and I do the whole world for her over and over. But yeah, I still have the condition, so I lean. If I look at you straight, why? But hey, can you get some good acting roles? No, it hurts. It's not fun. But sitting crooked hurts the back too. So yeah, substitute one for the other. But peace.